What is up, guys? It's your boy Recluse, and today we are going to be showcasing the brand new raid exotic weapon exclusively dropping from the all-new Salvation's Edge raid just added into Destiny 2 within the Final Shape expansion. And guys, this thing is nuts, okay? Some details about it came out early, and I've heard from some people that they're kind of disappointed. This weapon doesn't look that good, but when you get your hands on it and you learn all of the details about it, oh my goodness, you're gonna be blown away. So, it's called the Euphony, and first of all, how do you get it? Well, it's just going to be a random drop when you complete the Salvation's Edge raid on that certain character for that week. I believe, like other raid exotics, it's going to be locked behind 3 chances to get it per week. Now, if you want to know how to beat the Salvation's Edge raid, well boy, you're in luck, because I just put out my complete Salvation's Edge raid guide. Check it out, it's linked right up above. So, what the heck is the Euphony and what does it do? Well, it's actually a strand linear fusion rifle, and taking a look at its exotic traits, first of all, intrinsically, we have Unwound. Dealing sustained damage with this weapon spawns threadlings at your target's location. Now, importantly, the people that have said this thing doesn't look that good only know those 2 details. It's a strand linear that makes threadlings, but it actually has another exotic trait called Spindle. Threadling damage increases this weapon's damage. Now hold on, whoa. You're telling me that just for shooting a target, I'm going to spawn threadlings, and then those threadlings, when they damage that target, I'm going to boost my damage? But there's one more factor that really is the icing on the cake. It's the maraschino cherry. It is the thing that is really going to elevate this thing's power potential, and that's the fact that it's a special linear fusion. So just like the Arbalest, one of the best PvE weapons in the entire game, this is not taking up your heavy slot. Oh, and it's an aggressive frame 3-round burst linear in your special slot. And when you actually see the threadling spawning in action, and I'm going to be showing it in the background gameplay against our favorite test dummy here, Callie, it's not just a threadling every once in a while. You jump 3 threadlings off of a target for getting a burst on them. You can see, like in one magazine, it's 3 threadlings, another 3, another 3. You are spawning an insane amount of threadlings. And also, every time those threadlings attack Callie here, I'm getting a boost in damage. But it's not a simplistic one-time effect. As you can see, when more and more threadlings start to hit Callie, I'm doing more and more damage. And you can actually see the spindle buff in the left corner of my screen. It has a 9-second timer, and it starts at ×1, and it goes up and up and up for every single threadling that hits Callie, and it also resets that 9-second timer for every threadling that hits Callie. Now, the highest damage I was able to hit for before the damage phase ends, like I don't have a lot of time here, was 41,461 damage, and that was at spindle ×7. Now, you'll actually see just before I get blown up by Callie, another threadling hits and it goes to ×8. So it can go higher than this 41,000, and that number was actually 14% more damage. So spindle ×7, 14% more. If we follow that trajectory, it's 2% an increase in damage for every threadling that hits the target. Okay, so here's where things get a little bit theory crafty, but also potentially insane. It says when threadlings hit a target. Now, this could just mean your own threadlings, in which case, for longer damage phases, if you are actually able to get up to ×10 and have a permanently refreshing 20% damage bonus, that's actually quite good. Now, the downside is that it does take a while to get up there. Like the actual animation of the threadlings jumping off, realizing there's a target nearby, jumping on the target, it does take a while, and you go through a lot of ammo before you get the maximum damage bonus. I will admit that. However, it all depends on how specifically Spindle works, because if it triggers on threadlings from any source, then that means you could play a Strand build. You could play a Strand Warlock, spawn your Weaver's Call Rift, and the Threadlings from there could jump off, deal damage to a target, and then you're already at, Spindle times 3 before you've even shot the enemy with this exotic. Now, things get really crazy when we consider the possibility of multiple people with this raid exotic. Like right now it's extremely rare, but as more and more people get it, if Spindle is activating from other people's, from your teammates' Threadlings, then everyone could crank their own Euphonies up to times 10 or however high it goes extremely fast and all do quite a lot more damage. Now, this is all just hypotheticals for, could this actually have DPS potential? The problem right now is that the Still Hunt sniper exists and it synergizes with the Celestial Nighthawk. And that just does an absurd amount of damage, and that's probably going to outpace whatever the Euphony does. However, if in the future they ever add some sort of strand buffs, or maybe it's strand surge in a certain activity, or overcharged linear fusion rifles, this is absolutely a crazy DPS potential for a special weapon. But also, let's get off of DPS. Let's get off of Theorycraft and DPS, because just the here and the now, the fact that you're spawning 3 Threadlings for just shooting a target is crazy. You can see in the background gameplay when I'm fighting these nightmares. First of all, I'm absolutely cranking these nightmares with this thing. And secondly, it lets you focus down a powerful enemy, but while you're doing that, it's also ad clearing at the same time. Often, the Threadlings that spawn on that powerful enemy, well, if there's nearby red bars, they'll jump on those red bars. And then you're done killing the powerful guy you needed to focus on. You're done killing the champion, the mini boss, whatever you're trying to kill that's the most powerful thing that you're currently seeing. And then you aim out of sights, you reload your weapon, you look around, and everything's already dead because of all those Threadlings you spawned. That's very, very effective. Not to mention, this makes Hatchling look like a joke. This isn't Hatchling. This is the darn hatchery, baby. You are spawning a ridiculous amount of Threadlings. Normally, for Hatchling, again, it's once for a precision hit or rapid hits will spawn a Threadling as well. But the volume of Threadlings you're spawning with this gun seems to significantly outpace what you'd be able to do with a Hatchling gun. And so, just using this, not for DPS, but for the Threadling generation, in a Strand Threadling build, in a Threadling Warlock, would also be insane. Because in a Strand build, you have multiple ways to not only actually improve your Threadlings, so the 3 Threadlings that pop off of an enemy with this gun should just be better, but also gain benefits from using Threadlings and getting Threadling kills and stuff. And I really do think that has some insane potential, because when weapons have access to those elemental keywords, you just have an immense amount of synergy and build crafting possibilities. It's kind of like when the new Hunter exotic chest piece just came out for Final Shape, and it said that, hey, these 2 abilities will cause some jolting things to come off of them, and everyone kind of went, that doesn't sound that good. But then in the bottom it said, oh yeah, by the way, when you jolt, you actually get damage resistance. Well, it turns out that works with Volt Shot weapons. So that's the thing, like, when you have exotics that involve Threadlings, they give effects, anything involving Threadlings. Now this weapon has a ton of potential to just take over with those certain builds because it's so good at generating Threadlings, right? These are the type of weapons you have to pay attention to, because whenever anything is added that expands on the possibilities of a certain subclass, now the weapons that interact with that subclass because of those keywords become way juicier really, really fast. And so guys, that's it for the look at the Euphony. Ton of potential here, both in terms of damage and in terms of Strand and especially Threadling build crafting. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.